Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Wednesday, April 25th. We'll be covering the new solo which would experience not in 1 week, but tomorrow. They really need to get their stuff together. I mean, how hard is it to program the game to count down to a specific date? I mean, why not count down to specific hours? Like every other game can do it. Our daily quest are... we need 2 more games with a Druid or Rogue victory. We need to play things that cost 2 or less. And we need to win 1 game with Hunter and Mage. Actually, we only need to do 2 of those things. So, if I can find a ranked game with Murloc Paladin, that won't work. It needs to be Druid or Rogue. We've got Rogue here. We've got Druid here. So we'll try these 2 and start playing. Meanwhile, I am trying to go through all the news and close as many tabs as possible, because tomorrow when we cover the single player expansion, that'll be a special stream in which we won't cover news. And I really don't think that I want a ton of news in the setup for Friday either. Friday's typically not the best days to stream. Whereas I've learned putting Star Trek in the name of your stream actually works very, very well as a way to get people to watch your stream. Although, I also did a side experiment accidentally by not having any tags or even the right description on that Star Trek video. Star Trek Adversary Spotlight. So, it's hard to believe that actually boosted it up to the massive amount of... What is the deal? Why is this changing cost all over the place? Is this just a straight up glitch? Like, the only 1 card has been played, and we're playing ranked. Cost 1 less for each other card in your hand. Okay, I see what it's doing now. Alright, I'm a little confused. So, moving on. PC Gamer has an article: an electronic waste recycler is going to prison for selling Windows Restore CDs. He has to pay $50,000 fine too. So, he's doing 15 months in federal prison. Let's see. The question here is, what part are you breaking? What law are you breaking by selling the CD restore things? You're probably reselling something or violating a contract. I mean, I'm really uncertain on what the crime here is, because it almost certainly is anti the sticker license agreement that they have been trying to apply to people, saying that just because you own the CD, you don't have the right of resale. But they knocked down that. Okay. What landed this guy in hot water was a project to manufacture and sell thousands of Dell Restore CDs for Windows PCs for a small fee. The software is free to download by anyone who owns a Dell computer, and the software can only be used on systems with a valid Windows license. So, He reasoned that many computer owners either lose or throw away their restore disks. He also suspected that many of those same owners would not feel competent enough to download the software and create their own restore disk, instead choosing to buy a new PC and throwing out their old one when something goes wrong. Which, that seems a little extreme, but probably true. So, apparently, he made 28,000 restore CDs. He then shipped them to a broker in Florida with the intent of selling them for 25 cents to each computer refurbishing shop, so the shops could bundle them with used PCs. U.S. Customs seized one of the shipments and began investigating. Authorities convinced the Florida broker to cooperate with the government in the sting. So they got him on conspiracy to traffic in counterfeit goods and criminal copyright charges. And he argued that the CDs had no value, and they determined that the value was $25 each, even though they wanted it. The prosecution wanted it valued at $300 a disc, which, I mean, that would have certainly exchanged and increased the charges based on how much damages they are claiming. Why am I reading this article though? Why is this on PC Gamer? I have to take a step back for a moment there and go, like, why am I reading this? This has very little to do with anything. Like, it has nothing to do with video games. So why is it on PC Gamer? Whatever, let's move on. Or we're trying to rush through news, and I got caught up in a click hole, pretty much. Next game we have on Steam is called Pizza Titan Ultra. Came out on the 25th. Let's see. Well, this is crazy looking. It seems like you run around in a mech fighting people, maybe destroying buildings. Seems like one of those crazy games that might be cool and might just be a total and complete joke, and it's hard to know which is actually true. Seems like there are specific buildings in which you are punching the buildings to deliver the pizza. Like a just weird combination of things. It's 15% off for $15.29. Let's see, it seems to be a couple of positive reviews and no negative reviews right now, which is kind of suspicious. Always. Like, I'll give no credibility to short of 30 to 100 views. Positive reviews, unless there's at least one negative one. And I know people know that, and that people are like that sometimes, so I imagine there are some scammers out there that give their own game some negative reviews just to make it look more legitimate. So I can't really recommend this game, but I can't really not recommend this game either. So I think I'm going to put this one on my wish list just to keep an eye on it. It's from a developer who's made 2 other games that are rated positive, and that certainly is a factor to consider. Also, that like you wouldn't by default run into that situation. There you go, in the turn. So yeah, I'll wishlist that. we're getting down to the point where every live stream I'm finding at most 2 things that are actually worth wishlisting. Possibly some of that has to do with the E3 coming up. Man, I'm a mess today. I'm all over the place. The Hellblade developers, according to PC Gamer, were surprised so many people played the game with mouse and keyboard. Going forward, we'll make sure that we get our interfaces and everything right for the PC audience. I don't think Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice particularly controlled well even on the controller. Maybe there was a patch later on to improve it. Yeah, here it says at the bottom, we dropped the ball a little bit at start. We patched it afterwards, but we dropped the ball with our mouse and keyboard support. I imagine they suspected that nobody would actually want to play it that way, and it turned out some people did want to play it that way. There is still a very hardcore contingent of people that only want to play mouse and keyboard for everything, and I'm not sure I fully agree with their mentality, but I suppose it's their decision. And I could certainly see some people just not wanting to spend that extra $30 after buying a $2,000 PC. People who don't want to spend $30 to get a Xbox controller to plug into it. Next game we have on Steam is called Funny Yo. It's being published by Otaku Maker SARL, which is a publisher that puts the most random garbage out on Steam, but seems to always have slightly different developers. So they're running, it's probably one group of people just running by multiple different names to look a little bit more professional. Do I want to do this? Let's do this. And then do this. And in the turn. Funny Yo looks awful. It looks like some MS Paint graphics that have been cut and pasted into some kind of demo. It's 30% off for $1.39. What's really crazy is I believe there's already a Funny Yo 2 and 3 that I saw. Yes, there's Funny Yo 3 came out on the exact same day. Funny Yo 2 came out the exact same day. Just flooding the Steam market with fake games. So we don't really need to talk about that. Next game we have on Steam is called Grandpa. It says it's an early access indie gore violent game from a developer called Pudding and a publisher called Cheesecake. I suspect that they have not followed any legal requirements to be doing business under those names. Let's see. Gain 2 mana crystals or draw 3 cards. Deal 1 damage and draw a card. How about that? So, this game looks like it kind of has an Alone in the Dark vibe. But also it looks like it's just another one of these horror games. With, I mean, maybe these are asset flips, or maybe they aren't. It's consistent. It's bad, but it's consistent. Poor PlayStation 2 3D graphics. Says it's early access, 16% off for $3.35, and it has no reviews. And let's just see what the developer pudding has made. Otherwise, nothing. Let's see what the publisher Cheesecake has published. Otherwise, nothing. It's fake game. Like, let's say it isn't a fake game. You've already kind of ruined your setup. Because you've lied, and by lying to the audience and saying this is the name of your company, which will change to a different name of a company, I'm sure, pretty quickly next time you want to release something. Like, there's no credibility I would give to Pudding Corporation or Cheesecake Publisher. You'll never see another game from them. They really need to start looking at the Steam Direct stuff. Moving on, Gematsu has an article. Floor Kids launches May 16th for PC this summer for PS4 and Xbox One. This is a game where I think it's mostly a rhythm game where kids are doing breakdancing. I guess I'll wishlist it. I have really no interest whatsoever in breakdancing, but I'll keep an eye out for it because it is something that is unique. It has a cool pencil sketch art style that I think is an actual artistic design and not just a let's see, not just a coincidence. Let's hit this. And let's draw another card. And we'll do that. And then we'll end the turn. Yeah. There's a high chance that Floor Kids will not be a game for me. But it is still a high chance there will be something for other people. Gamasutra has an interesting article. Norwegian studio nets $400,000 to finish the co-op puzzler Pode, P-O-D-E. That is an interesting article that you probably don't ever want to have to admit in your company. Is we couldn't finish our co-op puzzler game on our own investment, so we have to, an article has to come out. Let's see, the venture capitalist firm Altered Ventures from Silicon Valley is giving the studio the money. The deal marks the first time Altered Ventures has invested in a Norwegian game studio, which arguably this is very dangerous, investing in a foreign country, because you may not have the legal recourse to recoup your losses at all in Norwegian. Norway. And apparently they had a Altered Venture has a $36 million indie game fund, and so this is the first game in that fund that they're funding. So, I mean, that's a lot of backroom talk, certainly not really important to most people who play video games. So, moving on, next game we have is one that came out May 31st, 2017. And I think I may have missed this one. It's just called Hoover. It's an open world parkour indie adventure game, and it looks very much like a Jet Set Radio clone in all the good ways. Except for maybe you're not spray painting things. Maybe you're just racing with laser lights on your jets so that you get streaks. It's single player and multiplayer. It's $19.99. Let's see, the reviews are mostly positive. 70% of 10 users in the past year, 30 days, and very positive for 85% of users in total. 827 users. So it's kind of a dead game, certainly, that is true, but it has a 69 on Metacritic. Let's see what the negative reviews are before I put this on my wish list. Not recommended. First review says, tries to use nostalgia but completely fails to deliver. It was fun for maybe 10 minutes but quickly became too repetitive. It's on sale for a few bucks to get it, but if not, don't. Don't trust the positive reviews. Lies, all lies. Great idea, bad controls, bad air movement, bad everything, boring game. Wants to be Jet Set Radio. Feels like a bootleg Jet Set Radio. Avoid unless you're a furry. So maybe there's some furry characters in there, or maybe that is just a straight up insult to furries for no reason. Let's end the turn. So I probably did look at this game and it tricked me again. I suppose. It's not on sale, so I wouldn't buy it now. And I think it's not getting wishlisted. Too many negative reviews that make too many arguments. These are games that were announced when Steam went crazy and was saying games were new on Steam when they weren't. So the next one I have is called Rive Hack Die Retry. It's very positive, 93 of 170 user reviews in the past 30 days, but it came out September 13th, 2016, and it's a fast-paced twin stick shooter, bullet hell style game. It seems like you're a walking tank, however not flying around, which that's certainly different. If we do this and just go ahead and kill this. It says it has a 6-hour campaign. $14.99, no discount. Let's look at the negative reviews before I put this one in my wish list. First now recommended review. I'm going to just read a bit of this because it's long. Everything points to this game being good. In fact, some parts are. The art style, the fluid controls, the satisfying gunplay are some of the strong points. The upgrade system is standard fare and a bit lacked on, but it serves a minimum purpose. Overall, this is a decent game and good time waster. Let's see, so the first paragraph says something positive, and I don't want to read the rest of the paragraphs. The real problem is the dialogue. It's not just simply bad. It's full on painfully cringy moments that you can't skip. The best you can do is mute the voice acting, but it won't help the moments that bring the gameplay to a screeching halt as you're forced to sit through the conversations with subtitles. The more the game progressed, the more it felt as though it'd be better off with no story at all. If this isn't something that would bug you, then by all means give the game. So the complaint from that one person is that the story's bad. The next not recommended review says it's so difficult even on normal difficulty. Just keep on playing cards. Even on normal difficulty, then I get bored after dying continuously. Besides, it lacks any sort of multiplayer mode. Next, not recommended, mildly entertaining, but ultimately an unfulfilling and overly frustrating bullet hell platformer that releases. 2, that relies too heavily on throwing millions of the same boring enemies ad nauseum. This rating gives, next one says rating 3 out of 10, without a doubt one of the most stupidly frustrating games I've ever played. Yeah, and as somebody who doesn't like bullet hell shooters in the first place, I'd be willing to try Rive if people weren't saying this. It's really, really difficult. And that's kind of the problem with all bullet hell shooters, is they are all way, way too difficult and frustrating in the grinding. Let's go ahead and kill one of these guys. Play this. And what else do I want to do? Play this. PC Gamer has an article says the game To Leave is about a magic door and a boy's battle with himself. This is probably an article talking about a game that's not coming out anytime soon. If it's a PC game type thing. Oh, this is an interesting... I'm watching the trailer, and apparently the boy is holding on to a magical door that is floating and flying and bouncing around, and you're platforming and working your way through a crazy environment. So it seems like there's an actual artistic idea and style in this game. It's a little bit Braid-esque, but with some very different styles of platforming. The video I'm watching right now has closed captions in a different language that were enabled. I'm not sure why. Let's see. To Leave is out on the PS4 today, according to an article, but the PC version's due at a later, currently undisclosed date. So, and this was a Game Informer article that PC Gamer just ad copied. They just rewrote it to make it their own article. I mean, I don't. Is that called ad copy? I don't think that is what that's called. Not really seeing anything on about that game, and we'll get more information about To Leave, so we'll leave that alone. Let's try Tempo Rogue just to keep it interesting. We're still trying to get victories. PC Gamer has an article saying an upcoming Hearthstone patch will fix Shudderwock's absurd battle cry. I think they're going to limit it. Let's see. Here's the exact tweet from Hearthstone. In a future update, we will be doubling the animation speed of Shudderwock's battlecry, capping the amount of battlecries Shudderwock can reproduce to 20, and speeding up the animation of Life Drinker. And Disguised Toast responded, "My bad." And there's a video here of, I believe, Disguised Toast doing a one-turn kill with Shudderwock and just having the same things happen over and over again and making for extremely long animations. Like, honestly, fixing that versus fixing other things is probably shouldn't be as high of a priority. Like, the rare occasion that an average player plays Shudderwock and it just goes on forever to the point where it stops being cool and fun to see and starts being annoying is so low Meanwhile, there's little bugs and little glitches and little crashes happening all the time on Hearthstone, and some other things that certainly could be fixed. Next, we have an article from PC Gamer. A lot of PC Gamer articles back to back. No surprise there, since they flood Twitter with 5 tweets in a row, usually. Foxy retro platformer Fox and Forest is pouncing to PC next month. Let's see what this is. It looks like a Commander Keen-esque. I guess that's the reference I would want to make. 2D platformer. So there are a lot of games like that on PCs in the early 90s. You're playing as a fox. You're sliding on ropes. You're collecting gems. You're jumping and platforming. The standard things you would tend to expect. Let's put that out there. And then the turn. Do you have any ability to fight? Yes, you do. The weird thing about any game like this, like Fox and Forest, is this game seems like it has power-ups and life and a better, more polished version of what a game like this could ever have been when they first came out. But I'm still not sure it's really a genre anybody wants to play. Until you start getting to something like Dust Elysian and Elysian Tale, where you have enemies coming fast at you and you're hitting them with super powerful combos to speed up the experience, how it feels to run through a level. You run into a problem of you're trying to platform, there's one creature in front of you, you're going to have to now, in this case, shoot looks like a crossbow gun at them multiple times. Every enemy is taking many hits and taking about 3 seconds to beat. Seems like in this game you have an ability to change between spring and fall, so sometimes the trees will have leaves in front of them and you can't see the platforms you're platforming on, which is an interesting magical ability. Yeah, I guess maybe I would be willing to try this game though. Like, this game was kickstarted in 2016 and it's gonna launch next month on May 17 with the from Bonus Level Entertainment. So I guess I'll see. I'll see if this has a Steam page. It probably doesn't. And wishlist it. Keep an eye on it. Let's go ahead and hit this. And attack here. And then the turn. Next article we have on PC Gamer is Ubisoft admits Rainbow Six Siege's fastest characters are too strong. Expects some changes to the speed and armor in the next test server. For anybody still playing Rainbow Six Siege, I'm sure that is of some concern for most people who aren't. No real concern there. Next article we have is called Defense Grid, the beer game that changed a genre. With a minimalistic plot and freeform difficulty, Defense Grid, The Awakening became a tower defense classic. Weird because I've never heard of it whatsoever. But like, how many tower defense games are there? That's kind of the problem, is they all just bleed into each other. Defense Grid very well may be the top tier tower defense game that has ever existed, and it doesn't seem like that matters. Like, even the best of the best, if defense this article talking about Defense Grid on PC Gamer is part of the Class of 2008, a series of retrospectives about indie games that released 10 years ago. I wonder if 10 years ago was PC Gamer paid to advertise Defense Grid, and very possibly this might just be a argument of them republishing old articles as new articles to get people's attention. Certainly I'm falling for it, but I guess I'll go check out Steam's review for Defense Grid. Let's see, can we search Defense Grid and not just Defense Grid The Awakening on Steam? It's rated very positive of the 11 user reviews in the past 30 days, and overwhelmingly positive 97% of the 2,649 user reviews ever. This came out December 8th, 2008. And if I was to decide, we won there. We still need to play minions that cost 2 or less. What else is our other daily quest? Hunter and Mage. So do we have a hunter deck ready? Do we have a mage deck ready? Let's get our hunter deck working and then play that. So we need to replace this with this. I suppose replace this with this. Replace this with this. Replace this with this one. We should be good now. So we kind of have a mid-range hunter deck, but not really. So the thing I wanted to see here is if I scroll down and look at what Steam would recommend instead of Defense Grid, is there even a tower defense game in the more like this stream on Steam? Let's see. There's this one game called X-Morph Defense that I'm hovering over it and it's not even pulling up a box. Infested Planet, Battletech, Revenge of the Titans, Sanctum 2, Warframe, Kingdom Rush. Honestly, it doesn't look like any of these are like anything similar. And if I look at all the negative reviews, most of them are just saying it's okay, it's a tower defense game. There's, I suppose, nothing else you could say there. So I think I've got a wishlist Defense Grid The Awakening and try what apparently is one of the best tower defense games out there. I've played plenty of bad ones, but I guess I haven't played any good ones. Gamasutra has an article. Cartridge, spelled K-A-R-T-R-I-D-G-E, has announced new dev-friendly revenue terms. Congregate has announced new terms for its upcoming downloadable games platform cartridge, which will now provide developers with an additional revenue entitling developers to 100% of the revenue earned on the first $10,000 of sales. Which that's certainly like questionable. Like, seems like there's a lot of games that would be on Congregate that would not make over $10,000 in sales. And so where's this where is this gonna work? And see, for the next $40,000 in sales, 90% of it goes to the developers. And then after the promotional period, developer revenue shares will change to 70% of revenue. So apparently this is a promo thing to get people onto cartridge. I doubt very many people of any importance are going to publish their game only on cartridge. If you're going to go anyway, why not anywhere? Why not go to good old games instead? Although you certainly could try to make the argument that Steam really isn't doing anything to promote your game, so you're giving them 30% of the sales on your game specifically because they are doing the hosting and the customer service and like all the support things that like that, which probably is still worth the 30% to, if you're a big game, if you're a AA, AAA, even single A game, it's probably worth 30% of your revenue to not have to deal with as much customer service, not have to deal with hosting, be on a platform that people want to use. So like, yeah, there's an argument there, but I think Steam fails to make that argument appropriately. A lot of people seem to, particularly in articles, seem to make this argument that Steam is supposed to be promoting your game and advertising your game. And it's just never done that, and it's just not going to do that. I suppose the same argument could be played to YouTube at this point. Like, YouTube at some point was supposed to be promoting and advertising your videos, but now you really have to be realistic and admit that they kind of aren't. Instead, they're doing this test pilot program where they're promoting people who have over 1 million subs on the trending page, which is going to actually backfire and may actually be just a test to prove that stupid Hearthstone is updating and installing right now. Like, what it really goes to show is that they don't have a clue how effective their trending page is at all. Because if they're specifically promoting people with over 1 million subs to see if it gives them any more views whatsoever, it means they don't have any good statistics up until this point to know whether that's the case or not. Furthermore, it's really ridiculous to be promoting people with over 1 million subs. That's just moving YouTube in more and more of the wrong direction, only caring about the top 1% and ignoring all new creators, ignoring any up-and-coming people. Frankly, people with 1 million subs are doing fine. That's why those people with 1 million subs did not care when the small YouTubers were kicked out of the partner program. It's because they were like, well, we don't care. We're still getting our money. We're probably getting you some of your money too. So yeah, that's crazy. Also, YouTube put up a YouTube help called The Life of a Flag, talking about how videos get flagged automatically or manually by people. it was trying very carefully to be innocuous, but my main instinct still was to downvote it. And they had disabled comments and disabled any metrics on down thumbs ups or thumbs down. I didn't downvote it because I'm trying to be realistic here. I'm trying not to have a bias, but any kind of flag is bad on YouTube as far as I'm concerned on a content creator, with the rare exception of actually inappropriate content. But my definition of what is inappropriate and what isn't is so far away from the nebulous definition that YouTube has that it's crazy. They also showed a sneak peek where it seems like they're going to try to do a new service where they're going to automatically catch people that just download your videos and re-upload them. As a tiny YouTuber, I seriously doubt anybody is downloading my videos and re-uploading them. Frankly, if somebody is downloading my videos and re-uploading them, I kind of hope they would just be doing it as unpublished private videos as a backup to my channel, and I'd be like, thank goodness, good for you. Keep those videos up somewhere, because I don't have backups to them. It doesn't fix one of the problems where you have like Brazilian people. It seems to be pretty bad in Brazil right now, that will take the scripts from content that other people made and then read them in Brazilian. So they're not doing the hard work of writing a script, or I mean, sometimes they won't even take they'll take even the video content also and just dub over it and portray it as something new. That's not going to be caught in this system. The only thing that's going to be caught is if you put your video on YouTube first and somebody else uploads an exact copy. And it seems like it's only going to be an exact copy for content creators. It's not going to be also a system in which you can claim monetization on other people's videos or them uploading copies of your videos. So you're going to more than likely, even though this was portrayed as something that will be good for content creators, we may see a lot of content creators in the next few months complaining about their video got taken down because somebody else stole their video, uploaded it, and somehow the system got it backwards and said that no, the actual original content creator is the thief. We see issues of that already, where Hearthstone streamers claim to own all video footage of Hearthstone, and it's ridiculous. Let's see. Tragic Master says Hearthstone update ? I hope the new adventure mode is included in the update. So what it is yes, it was a Hearthstone update. The thing though is they update you and then you still can't do it until it hits a specific time. So maybe, just maybe, if I was to exit out of the game and move the clock forward, it would let me do that, but probably not, because there's probably some kind of small bit of code that the software looks at to begin with, and that is the thing it's interested in. So play 6 weapons, play overload cards. That's what we'll do in the next recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a bunch of links down below in the description. When you subscribe, please click the notification bell. And if you want to support me even further, gift me a game on Steam. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.